The M777 Howitzer has been a symbol of precision, power, and lightweight artillery for years. As we move into 2025, the system has undergone significant advancements, not just in terms of engineering, but also in how it integrates into the modern battlefield. At its core, the M777 remains a towed 155mm artillery piece, but with the evolving landscape of warfare, it has transformed into something far more advanced, faster to deploy, deadlier in precision, and more adaptive to digital combat networks. But before we talk about the upgrades in the 2025 model, it's important to understand the foundation this weapon is built on. Originally developed by BAE Systems, the M777 has served militaries around the world since the early 2000s, particularly excelling due to its titanium construction, which significantly reduces its weight without compromising on firepower. Unlike many of its predecessors, the M777 can be airlifted using helicopters like the CH-47 Chinook or carried internally by the C-130 Hercules, making it incredibly mobile for a weapon of its caliber. That mobility has made it a cornerstone of U.S., Canadian, and Australian artillery units and a critical asset in Ukraine's recent defense strategies. The new 2025 version doesn't replace this formula, it evolves it. The first noticeable improvement is in the targeting systems. While earlier versions relied heavily on the digital fire control system for accuracy and coordination, the 2025 upgrade introduces a revamped eye-assisted targeting module. This new system integrates satellite data, real-time drone feeds, and advanced terrain recognition to calculate the most effective angle, charge, and timing for each shot. This makes the 2025 M777 more autonomous and capable of reacting to fast-changing battlefield scenarios with minimal human input. In practice, that means the M777 can now fire and reposition significantly faster. Traditional artillery doctrine often involves firing a few rounds and moving to a new location to avoid counter-battery fire. With the 2025 upgrade, this tactic is executed with remarkable efficiency. The fire-move-fire cycle is reduced to mere minutes, giving enemies less time to react and significantly reducing crew risk. This is largely thanks to the integration of hybrid hydraulic systems that automate trail spiking, barrel elevation, and angle adjustment. Combined with new data links, the M777 now functions more like a node in a network than an isolated cannon. Another major change is the modularity of the ammunition systems. The M777 now supports a wider array of shells, including the new generation of extended-range guided munitions, ERGM, capable of hitting targets up to 80 kilometers away with a margin of error less than 5 meters. That's a dramatic leap compared to the 40 kilometers range of earlier precision rounds. These munitions use GPS and inertial navigation, but they're also equipped with onboard processors that adapt their trajectory mid-flight. In field tests, these shells have been able to adjust to moving targets, correct course due to wind interference, and even abort mid-strike if a new directive is issued through the fire control system. But range isn't the only story. The payload versatility of the 2025 M777 is also revolutionary. Operators can now load cluster munitions, airburst rounds, anti-armor shells, or even electronic warfare payloads depending on the mission objective. This allows a single M777 battery to shift between suppressive fire, defensive coverage, and anti-vehicle strikes within the same combat operation. Add in the new dual-charge system that adjusts the launch profile depending on the shell, and you get a weapon system capable of unmatched adaptability. Crew ergonomics also see a significant shift. The older M777 versions required a team of 8 soldiers to operate at peak efficiency. In 2025, automation and eye support systems have cut that number down to 5. The redesigned user interface includes touchscreen displays with augmented reality overlays, making the operation far more intuitive. Crew members can now wear heads-up displays in their helmets to receive targeting data, weather adjustments, and communications in real time without taking their eyes off the weapon or the battlefield. These changes drastically reduce fatigue and improve reaction time in high-stress combat environments. Another fascinating development is the integration of drone command systems directly into the M777's fire control unit. Each howitzer can now act as a forward observation post, launching its own micro-drones to scout ahead, map terrain, and even laze targets. This reduces dependency on external assets and ensures the artillery can function independently in deep operations. These drones are compact, quadrotor models with a range of about 10 kilometers and flight times of 25 minutes, more than enough for pre-fire recon or battle damage assessment. Power generation has been improved too. The old battery-powered systems are replaced with compact hybrid generators that use a combination of diesel fuel and kinetic energy harvesting. As the barrel recoils after a shot, that mechanical energy is captured and stored in the system's power cells. This not only makes the system more energy efficient but also extends field time dramatically. Units can remain in operation for days without external power resupply, which is critical in remote operations or when supply lines are contested. But as with all advanced military systems, digital security is a growing concern. That's why the 2025 M777 includes multi-layered cyber defense features. Communications are encrypted with post-quantum algorithms to protect against future cyber threats, and the fire control software uses machine learning to detect anomalies that could indicate hacking attempts. If an attack is detected, the system can automatically isolate affected modules and revert to manual operation, maintaining functionality even under electronic warfare conditions. It's also worth mentioning that the 2025 M777 isn't just being used by traditional military units. Special forces and rapid deployment teams are experimenting with airdroppable M777 kits that include inflatable mounts, foldable components, and preset coordinates for instant use upon landing. These are not fantasy concepts. Field tests have already been conducted in Arctic conditions and mountainous terrain to prove that the small, agile team can deploy and fire the M777 within an hour of landing. This drastically expands the potential for surgical strikes and guerrilla-style artillery missions behind enemy lines. One of the lesser-known but equally impactful upgrades is noise reduction. In modern conflicts, artillery often must operate close to civilian areas or behind friendly lines, where acoustic signatures can compromise stealth. The 2025 M777 incorporates barrel dampening materials and exhaust silencers that reduce the decibel output by up to 40%. Combined with heat masking coatings on the barrel and frame, this allows the weapon to fire without easily giving away its position to infrared or acoustic detectors. On the maintenance front, sensors throughout the howitzer constantly monitor wear and tear, oil levels, recoil pressure, and temperature. This data is automatically sent to a central maintenance database via secure satellite uplink, allowing field technicians to anticipate issues before they result in a failure. In combat, this kind of predictive maintenance could be the difference between a successful operation and a critical delay. From a logistical perspective, the 2025 M777 also incorporates modular transport frames. These frames allow the system to be disassembled into smaller parts for easier transport in narrow terrain or across contested borders. The parts are color-coded and tagged with QR codes, streamlining the reassembly process. Soldiers can scan the codes with their helmet displays, receive step-by-step reassembly instructions, and have the unit operational in less than 30 minutes. Internationally, the demand for the 2025 M777 is surging. NATO allies are fast-tracking acquisitions, and joint exercises have already demonstrated interoperability across multiple platforms. The new software allows each M777 unit to operate seamlessly within multinational command networks, sharing targeting data, ammunition status, and tactical directives in real time. This is particularly valuable in large-scale joint operations where coordination across language and system barriers is critical. One of the more experimental features in the pipeline is the integration of kinetic kill defense. Essentially, This means that the M777 could be equipped with a small-scaled, automated interceptor that shoots down incoming drones or munitions targeting the howitzer. It's still in testing phases, but early reports suggest that a 360-degree laser-guided projectile system could provide up to a 70% success rate against loitering munitions. We should also talk about cost. The 2025 upgrade does increase the price tag per unit, estimated at around $5.2 million when fully equipped. But when you factor in the reduction in crew size, increased accuracy, minimized ammunition waste, and extended life cycle, the cost per shot effectiveness becomes significantly more economical than older systems or even many alternatives. In fact, when compared to rocket artillery or airstrikes, the M777 2025 edition delivers comparable effects with far less logistical burden. It doesn't require air superiority, can be concealed more effectively, and is operational in nearly any climate or elevation. That makes it a critical tool in asymmetric warfare and great power conflict alike. From the mountainous regions of Central Asia to the desert theaters of North Africa and the urban combat zones of Eastern Europe, the 2025 M777 has proven to be a flexible, reliable, and highly effective artillery system. And as software updates and battlefield feedback continue to refine the platform, we can expect even more capabilities to come online in the coming years. In summary, the 2025 M777 is not just an artillery piece, it's a complete, network-integrated fire support system designed for the challenges of tomorrow's warfare. With AI-driven targeting, drone integration, modular logistics, and a reduced crew footprint, it represents the next step in precision firepower. The battlefield of the future demands weapons that are fast, smart, and agile, and the 2025 M777 is ready to deliver.